Capital controls are a tool that governments use to limit the flow of foreign and domestic currency across international borders. They are measures that have become inevitable in certain situations. They can significantly affect both businesses and individuals. In the realm of international finance, capital controls refer to measures taken by governments to limit the flow of domestic and foreign capital out of their countries. These measures are often implemented in response to an economic crisis or instability. Various forms of capital controls exist depending on the specific objectives and strategies of a government. Some common types include 1. Bank holidays. By declaring a bank holiday, governments can restrict access to banking services for a specified period. This is often done to prevent bank runs during times of financial stress. 2. Ban on transferring cash abroad. International bank transfers can be restricted to small amounts or even banned completely. In an effort to prevent large amounts of cash from leaving the country, some governments have employed trained dogs at airports and borders to sniff out large quantities of currency. 3. Restrictions on buying foreign currency or assets. To control the outflow of money from their economies, governments may impose restrictions on the purchase of foreign currencies and assets. These restrictions can range from limitations on the amount that can be purchased, to complete bans in extreme cases. Governments see these anti-freedom and drastic measures as a way to maintain economic control during periods of financial turbulence. However, the implementation and enforcement of capital controls often come with catastrophic consequences for individuals and businesses. Capital controls can lead to a complete wipeout of your wealth. When governments impose capital controls, it typically signals a desperate attempt to fortify the economy. The implications of these measures are severe and often lead to wealth confiscation by the government. It's a scenario where citizens often find their earnings and savings devalued or confiscated outright, leading to a significant loss of personal wealth. This is the true cost and consequence of capital controls, a reality that one must be prepared for in an increasingly unpredictable global economic landscape. In today's world, implementing capital controls is not merely a hypothetical scenario. Several nations have recently imposed these financial restrictions. Argentina introduced measures to prevent capital flight due to its economic crisis. Likewise, Lebanon introduced capital controls in response to its severe banking crisis. In Asia, countries like China, India, and South Korea have also deployed capital controls to manage their economic conditions. Venezuela and Russia took similar steps due to political issues and international sanctions. The economic turmoil faced by Greece and Cyprus led them to enforce stringent capital controls. Iceland, too, had to resort to such measures following its banking collapse. The cases of Turkey and Ukraine further exemplify the global trend of imposing capital controls under various circumstances. These instances serve as a stern reminder that capital controls can emerge anywhere anytime, leaving unprepared citizens in a bind. The history of capital controls in the United States is noteworthy, particularly the enactment of President Roosevelt's Executive Order 6102 in 1933. This mandate prohibited the hoarding of gold coins, bullion, and certificates within the continental United States, a stark example of capital control. The objective was to counter the banking crisis during the Great Depression by moving privately held gold reserves to government control. Failure to comply resulted in penalties, including hefty fines or imprisonment. This significant event underlines how governments can exert stringent measures during economic instability. Just as it happened then, similar strategies can be employed today, affecting citizens' economic freedom and wealth security. The current fiat currency system, with the US dollar at its core, is facing unprecedented challenges. Capital controls are a tool used by governments to trap money within their territories. This makes it easier for them to seize your assets under the guise of maintaining economic stability. They often vehemently deny any intention to impose such measures until they are abruptly implemented. This deceptive approach prevents money leaving the jurisdiction in advance. Now more than ever, it's crucial to understand the implications of these potential changes on your financial freedom and take proactive steps to protect your wealth from such threats. In a world where capital controls could easily become a reality, individuals must find practical strategies to preserve and protect their wealth. One effective strategy is opening a foreign bank account. This approach can help safeguard assets against national financial instability and government seizure. Investing in real estate abroad is another viable tactic. Beyond its potential for financial returns, International real estate also serves as a tangible asset that's typically unaffected by domestic economic downturns or capital restrictions. For those seeking a more traditional method, holding physical gold bullion coins in a foreign jurisdiction offers an age-old solution. Gold's universal value and physical nature make it a secure asset that's difficult for governments to control or seize. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin offer unprecedented portability and global acceptance. As a decentralized asset, Bitcoin is resistant to government interference, making it an attractive option for those looking to avoid capital controls. Capital controls are inevitable in major countries as their economies decline and slip into depression. By their very nature, there will be no prior notice of capital controls. Preparations must be made now to get a substantial portion of your assets out of the country and into overseas banks and other assets that won't be affected by future capital controls. Would you like to have safe, hidden, and untouchable wealth? Your Wealth Fortress is a free report from Liberty Mundo that will show you how you can protect your assets. You'll learn unique and valuable strategies for keeping your assets untouchable and untrackable by anyone. You could have millions, even billions of dollars, and nobody would know it, find it, or touch it. Not with a team of the best global lawyers, not with the most powerful government on their side. And when you die, it will pass quietly, unnoticed, and untaxed to your heirs. It's all detailed in our special report titled Your Wealth Fortress: Bulletproof Structures to Protect Your Assets. Please follow the link in the description to get instant access and start implementing the strategies to protect your assets.